Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whenever and whatever time it is where you are. Welcome to my channel. I'm Michael Norman, and welcome to Maximum Life with yours truly, Michael Norman, where we're showing you how you can maximize your life through technology, through advancement, and through the proper mindset. Everything begins with the mind. So everything about this channel is geared to helping to develop the proper mindset that brings you into the level of increase of prosperity, to rid yourself of the scarcity mindset that creates cycles in our lives, and tragically, not only in our lives, but in the lives of our loved ones, our children, and our children's children. Now, in the Bible, it says that a wise man, a good man, a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. That means you and I, God expects us to leave an inheritance, not an invoice, okay? So that when we pass away, that our children and our children's children will know, number one, that we exist by virtue not only of the love that we've shown them, but the legacy that we've left them and the inheritance. And I've discovered as a pastor, I've done more funerals than I like to, but in all of them, one of the things that is a comforting thought to them is that their loved ones who's left um, has left behind not just an invoice, but an inheritance, something that will help them persist in life and continue to go on and prosper and enjoy the lifestyle that they are accustomed to. So today, in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about how you can get rich through AI. And AI is really an all-encompassing terminology. It's not one particular brand. It's an all-encompassing terminology that deals with artificial intelligence. So that means it's designed to bring you a certain level of insight, much like the internet. When the internet became popular and became popularized, that was the standard. It was the go-to for anything that you needed to find out or to discover, because it curates information from all around the world, from various writers, various experiences, various news happening, various things. Literally, you can Google just about anything. And if you think that AI is something scary, it's some sort of taboo sort of topic, all you have to remember is, if you have a computer and you've ever done a search on your computer for auto parts, for cars, for clothing, or anything else, you are literally using artificial intelligence in that regard. But AI has taken it to a whole nother level in the creation of AI assistants. So that means that you can have virtual assistants, every one of us. You don't have to be, a rich, upper crusted aristocrat to have a personal assistant. You can now have your own personal assistant that will create your calendar for you and remind you of important dates and appointments that you have to keep, give you insight on recipes if you're a cook. It will give you insight on how to write a book. So AI is wonderful in the sense that it literally can train and teach you how to do an incredible amount of work with a high level of productivity and efficiency. Let me tell you a story. Let me start out with a story as a pastor. So it's kind of a funny story, but it'll drive the point home. So a few, I guess it was almost a year ago, I was asked to be the guest speaker at a anniversary celebration for a particular church. And of course, I said, "Oh, wonderful! I'd be honored to be your keynote speaker, to be the guest speaker for your event. Sure, I'm in. Count me in." So that was about 3 months in advance that they asked me to do this engagement. So, the problem was I accepted it, but I didn't write it down. I don't know why, but I didn't. Normally, I put everything in my phone. Everything that I'm going to do now has to go into my phone. Incidentally, this is again my assistant. It uses AI technology to help me stay on top of my schedule as well. But I didn't use it. I didn't consult my assistant and let her know, or him know, or whoever AI is. But I have a female voice, I think. And so the story goes, I accepted the engagement forgot all about it during the course of time. Through the course of time, I literally completely forgot that I made a commitment to be the speaker for their anniversary celebration. And so here it is, about maybe a month or two, 3 months later, I'm finishing up my morning service at my particular church. So we start at 9 a.m. every morning, every Sunday morning, and we're out generally by 10:30. So it's still early. So when I finish, I generally come home and I take a little bit of a nap, And so I came home as I usually do, sat in front of the television, had my little snack with me. And it's about I want to say maybe 10:45, maybe 11 o'clock. And I think I'm supposed to be at this event something like I think it was 1, maybe 2 o'clock or something, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll say 3 o'clock for the sake of this example. So I'm sitting there enjoying the football game, all the shows, and having a snack, and ultimately I fell asleep. So I fell asleep watching TV, only to be aroused and awakened by the ringing of my cell phone. So it's ringing, and it woke me out of my sleep. And I grabbed the phone, answered the phone, and of course, like, hello. And they said, Pastor Norman, we're so excited that you're going to be with us this afternoon. And I'm like, wait a minute, beware. And I couldn't say it to them. I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, beware. Oh my God, I made a commitment to speak at this event. So they called me, hey, so we just calling to make sure you're on your way. And I'm like, absolutely, I'm on my way. I'll be there momentarily. This is about a 30-minute ride, maybe 25, 30-minute ride from where I lived. So I'm completely embarrassed. And of course, I'm not going to let on that I forgot and that I was literally in a deep sleep when she called. So they were like, well, we're excited about you speaking. We're looking forward to you being with us this afternoon. And I'll see you in just a little bit. And I'm like, absolutely. I'll be right there. I'm just a little bit behind, but I'll be there. And so when we hung up, I jumped off the couch, ran into my bedroom, grabbed some clothes, changed because I had my pajamas and everything. I'm like, jumped out of the pajamas, jumped into my clothing, put on a suit, and ran out, of course, freshened up, brushed my teeth and all that sort of thing. But I ran out of the door, jumped in the car. Well, I'm going to this anniversary celebration, but I have no prepared remarks. I have no sermon. I have no lesson. I have no teaching. I don't even have talking points. Nothing. So this is how ChatGPT came to the rescue. Because on my way to this is about a 25, 30-minute drive. On my way there, I picked up my phone and I opened ChatGPT and I say, hey, listen, can you give me some talking points for a pastoral anniversary celebration as a guest speaker? And blah, 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 blah. ChatGPT says, no problem. It came back with talking points that I could talk about to help celebrate this pastor. Now, he's no stranger to me. I knew who he was, but I just hadn't prepared any notes and things to speak on. It gave me some incredible bullet points that nothing that I didn't know. Everything that it talked about, I had some working knowledge of. So it was like easy. All right, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about that. That's good. And I'm all this while I'm embarrassingly while I'm driving on my way to this church. Fortunately, it wasn't through the city, so I didn't have a lot of traffic lights. So I'm on the expressway. That might be worse, but I was on the expressway, so I didn't have to worry about stopping and going. So I got my talking notes. I proofed them on the way, and by the time I got to the church, and I began to go inside, and they called me up almost immediately. We're so wonderfully blessed to have Pastor Michael Norman is with us. He's going to bring a word today. Stand to your feet and welcome him. And they're clapping and they're shouting. And I go up, I take the mic, I do my, all of the customary protocols. Thank God for this, that, the pastor, the leaders celebrating, blah, blah, blah. And I go into the message. And let me tell you something, not bragging or boasting, but it literally went off without a hitch. It was a huge success. The people were blessed, and no one was the wiser that I literally came straight from my couch to their celebration. What saved the day for me? Chat GPT, my literal. That's when I realized, hey, this is more than just some sort of app on on my phone. This is literally something that could change the game for me. You know, some people think of it as cheating. I can't ask Chat GPT to write a sermon for me. Yes, you can. You just better make sure that you're familiar with the text and the references that ChatGPT gives you or that AI gives you so that you could speak coherently and from a point of authenticity. I mean, don't you can't speak what you don't know about. You can't speak on topics that you're not familiar with. So anyway, it's a huge innovation. It will absolutely bless your life and bring a level of productivity and clarity to your life. I've used AI technology to help me crystallize my thoughts. So I'm a creative. So I get a million thoughts coming at my mind at the same time. And you know what I've done? I've literally turned on ChatGPT and just began to basically do a brain dump. Just talk about, hey, here's some thoughts in my mind on a particular subject, blah, 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you help me sort through these and ideas and create some sort of coherent curriculum to help? So, for instance, for a webinar that I'm going to do. Speaking of which, I'll tell you about my webinar coming up this weekend. You must be a part of it. But anyway, because I'll go into further details that I can't do right now, but I'll go into them during this webinar. But literally, I go in, I do a lot of research. I'm a speaker, keynote speaker. Of course, I'm a pastor, so I have to do a lot of research, and I believe in doing research. I've literally had about a 45-minute to an hour conversation with ChatGPT on various topics that I have to do research on. And it is the very best research assistant that you can possibly have. Number one, it knows everything, but the thing that we have to be careful of or be aware of is that it only answers questions or it only gives answers to the questions that we ask with specificity. So you have to be very specific on what it is you want, what it is you desire. So again, it is a huge assistant to writing your book. If you have an idea, a thought, if all it is a thought, I would love to write a book on how to bake a cake. Okay, put it into ChatGPT. Help me write a book about baking cakes. You type it in, it only takes like seconds. Every now and then, if you ask a very probing and thorough type of question, it might take somewhat 10 to maybe 15 seconds. That's long. But generally speaking, it's instant. It is instantly going to give you a response that will help you clarify your thoughts, put together your outline, and make your life so much easier and so much more effective. So much so that you can literally go into business. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about today, is how you can go into business using AI. And the wonderful thing about it is that you don't have to pay AI. You can go into business for yourself, but not by yourself. You can just literally use AI as your personal assistant. Help me set up my calendar. Help me put together a landing page. Help me develop a script for a promo. Help me outline a book. Help me get some graphics. Literally whatever you can think about. What's the distance from planet Earth to the moon? If that's what you need to know. What's the anatomical concept or makeup of water? What's this and that? A litany of questions and prompts. Now, the thing of it is that you have to be clear on what you want. Now, another wonderful thing about ChatGPT or whatever your AI of choice may be, not only will it answer your questions, but it will give you suggestions and offer suggestions on expanding on the answers that it gives you. For instance, if you are like I was, I need to put together a sermon for a particular event. It'll give me the outline talking points and then once it gives me that information, it will offer a suggestion. Would you like me to put this in a scripted form for maybe radio or maybe a ebook or something else? It will automatically give me those suggestions. So it's not just answering my question, but it's probing me for new ideas. Would you like to do this? Have you considered that? And let me tell you something. Nothing's better than having someone who will take your information and expound on it and expand it in a way that you hadn't thought about, and then turn it back to you and say, "Have you considered this?" Because oftentimes in business, we hire people we like, and people we know, and we get emotionally attracted and attached to employees to the extent that even though they are not per se the sort of talent that you want and need, but because you're so emotionally tied to that employee that it's very difficult for you to either transition them into another position for fear of offending them or just get rid of them altogether. And I understand that that's a real thing, but oftentimes that friends and buddies and that sort of thing, family members even, they can literally be a drag on the efficiency of your business. It can be a drag on the productivity of your business because you're more concerned about their emotional well-being than the well-being of your actual company. And the truth of the matter is, if your company fails, they're going to fail automatically. So we have to get to a place where we can appreciate what AI does for us, because we don't have to get emotion. We don't have to worry about being emotionally attached to it, because it's going to provide exactly what we ask for. So you have to be very specific in what you ask. You might be detailed in what you're asking. And like I said, I will be going over this concept and a whole lot more during this weekend, this Saturday, November 22nd. I will be doing a webinar, and I'll go into details on how you can use AI literally to make millions. Literally. There are those right now. Let me tell you something. I used technology to put together a curriculum for a webinar that I did some time ago. It was the very first time that I ever even done a webinar. I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the know-how, I didn't have the knowledge, but I curated that information by virtue of technology. I curated and put together this basically webinar and with bullet points and talking points, and then it actually helped me create a commercial with the script and all, and the buzzwords, things to say, hooks and things of that nature. I put all that together, and I put on this event. It was in one day, I made over $14,000 in one day. Can you imagine that? Now, I'm not guaranteeing you'll do. I can't make any guarantees on what you can make, but I can guarantee you that if you will take the information or harness the power of the artificial intelligence and make it to become your personal assistant, that will become the turnkey to the next level of productivity in your business. I'm talking about how, from creating landing pages to creating hooks, managing your email, managing your marketing, all of that. So, and even if you don't know how to market, all you have to do is do a prompt. Hey, I have a wonderful product here I want to sell. How can I create a marketing strategy to make people aware of my product? Not this product, but you get the point, okay? And then put it in the prompting, and boom, you've got an instant answer. Now, you may not, the caveat is this. I would not advise copying it verbatim. Whatever response AI gives you, use that and then put it in your voice. But I'll tell you this much though. This is crazy. I was I was preparing something using AI, and it responded and I think I was preparing a speech or something, and it responded to me first of all by calling me by my name, Michael. Now, I never introduced myself. By the way, you can introduce yourself to AI, particularly ChatGPT. You can introduce yourself and say, "Hi, my name is Michael." It creates your profile so that it knows you. But I never went through that. All it did was pay attention to the things that I was saying, the things that I was requesting, and it learned my name, and it learned my voice, not the tone of my voice, but the way that I speak, the way that I talk, the words that I like to use when I'm speaking. And so when I asked it to create a script for me, it said, "Oh, sure, I'll create you a script in the personality of Michael Norman, uh, dealing with mindsets, wealth, generational wealth, productivity, and ba 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 ba." And next thing you know, I've got my script. I'm telling you, it is an amazing thing that AI. And if you don't get familiar with AI, you are literally going to get left behind. And you might say, "No, that's impossible. No, that I don't work in technological field. I don't have to." No, you do not have to work in technology. There are people right now that are upset because AI is literally taking over what they thought was a job that only humans could do. And AI has come in and replaced them. Many of you, this is just the way that the world is fastly changing. Technology is changing in such a way that you either get in or get out. You either get in or get run over. That's just the way it is. That's how fast things are changing. You remember at one time, if you're from a particular age group, such as mine, you remember how that the garbage men, the man that would take out your garbage, they would be riding on the back of a truck. Usually about two of them. One will work one side of the road, the other will work the other side of the road, and they would jump off the truck, grab your trash can, garbage can, dump it in the back of the vehicle, and then replace your trash can back, and then they move on to the next house, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Well, technology has come so far that now what used to be a menial, low, I won't say low IQ, but low education job, such as taking out the trash, being a garbage man or a trash man, that used to be a low education job. But technology has made it as such where you have to have some level of knowledge concerning how to operate innovations, technical skills. So now you go out on any given day during the week, the trash man comes to you. There's nobody on the back of the truck at all. There used to be two. Now there's no one there. Why? Because now they've invented this contraption where it has an arm due to technology that arm can reach out from the truck, grab your trash can, raise it up, dump it into the bin on the truck, return your trash can back to the corner, and move on to the next house. That's technology, and you can't escape it. And you can never be in a position where you say, "I'm technology and AI will never be able to take my job away." I wouldn't be so sure on that. What I would do is become familiar with how to use technology, how to use AI to my advantage. That's what it's there for anyway. For those who know and respect and appreciate what it is, you can literally become a multimillionaire in record time. I mean, think of it this way. I'm just going to use just some random numbers in this example, but I want to drive a point home for you. So when you've had the agricultural age, horse and buggy age, everybody had a farm. This was fine. But when agricultural age turned into the industrial age, there are those who had farms, but now instead of using horse and buggies, now they've got tractors. And now they can do 10 times the work in half the time for those who were used to riding horse and buggies. So if you don't understand that advancement, then you're going to lose out because your competitors who have taken advantage of technology and utilized it for their business, they're going to do 10 times better than you because you're stuck on past technology. You're stuck in the past age. So now you go from agricultural age to the industrial age, and then you go to the information age. Now, that means that the next age generally cancels out the preceding age, just like industrial age canceled out to a certain degree the information age. So you got the agricultural age, you've got the industrial age, you've got the information age, and now we're in the AI generation. Now, here's something you may not have considered, that people are becoming more successful and rich. They're becoming millionaires in less time. It took some, let's just say in agricultural, and again, I'm just using random numbers. Say for instance, it took over 10, maybe 15 years to develop your farm and get to the place where you're a multimillionaire. 15 years. And the industrial age comes and it says, I can do it in 5 years. Well, the information age and AI age comes and says, I can do it in 5 seconds. Woo! Can you imagine that? And so each generation is, it's not only getting smaller, you've got about 100 years of the industrial age, maybe 50 years of the, 100 years of the agriculture, well, thousands of years of agriculture because we were basically farmers. But for this example, 1,000 years of agriculture, and then you've got 100 years of industrial, and then you've got 10 years of the information age, and then you've got 10 seconds in the AI generation, in the AI age. So it's taken less and less time to become successful. Each succeeding generation lasts shorter periods of time because technology is advancing so fast that people are becoming multimillionaires in record time. That's why these little kids, they're barely 18, 19, 20 years old. They learn. I mean, look at Zuckerberg. I mean, he's just a kid right out of college, creates Facebook, and boom, he's a multi-billionaire. Mark Cuban, same way, fresh out of college, creates a streaming basically, and boom, he turns into a multi-millionaire, a billionaire. And it's happening now in a shorter period of time. So I'm not saying it's easy, but it is easier to become wealthy in this AI generation than it's ever been before. All you have to do is get clarity on what it is. Do you have a product? Do you have a service? Do you have a skill set that you can communicate to others? And then can you find the people who need, not that you want to sell to, find out what the need is. Even if you do have a product, find those who need the product. Okay? But if you don't even have a product, all you have to do is do a market research. You can use AI to do that. You can use Google to do a market research to find out what is the greatest need, what is the most sought after topic in America today. And it will tell you what that is. And then when you find out what the greatest need is, make a product that answers the need. Make a product that solves a problem. Create a curriculum that addresses a need, a deficiency. And when you do that, literally, you're going to become successful. And you're going to be able to do it in a record amount of time. But the one thing you're going to have to recognize is that you cannot expect AI to do it for you. It will do it with you. Okay? It will do it with you. It cannot do everything for you. You have your part to play, but use AI as your virtual assistant. And like I said before, I'm going to be doing a webinar This weekend, Saturday, November 22nd, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to have to register for this by going to michaelnorman.net. But we're going to teach you mindset, money, and AI. What you're going to learn is how to use AI. You're going to have to you're going to learn how to understand AI, how to build wealth. You can wealth building through AI. You're learning how to transform your skill set into revenue. Build digital products. They're going to show you all that, how to automate and become more productive, and a whole lot more. Okay, and you don't need to have technical knowledge. I'm going to be speaking in common man's language, so it's not going to be a very technical webinar. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start your own digital business fast. You know, brick and mortar business usually takes about a brick and mortar, you're talking about weeks and months. If you're going to open a brick and mortar, nothing wrong with it, but you have to face the reality that it's going to cost you more money and it's going to take more time. And that's before you make your first dollar. You're going to have to spend thousands of dollars before you make $1. Whereas with a digital business, you can start your business today and start making money today, literally. I'm telling you what I know because I've done it for the last 5 years, ever since the pandemic. I've been doing webinars and helping people start their own digital business, and I can do the same for you. So don't miss this webinar. I mean, I know it's a short notice, but sometimes you just got to get in. You got to make the sacrifice in order to gain the results that you really want to have. So this happening this Saturday. And listen, if I were you, I would drop everything. This is only going to be maybe an hour and a half to 2 hour webinar. So it's not all day. It's not something that's going to tie up your weekend. It's going to give you an opportunity to gain an insight and a skill set that could literally make you millions of dollars. It's all about how you use it. You know, some are going to make millions, some are going to make a few thousand. Okay? Some are not going to make anything because they won't take advantage of the opportunity. They don't understand it, and I'm going to help you understand it. Okay? All right, that's all I have for you on this video. If you've gained any insight, any knowledge, would you do me a favor? Click the thumbs up button. Please do that because it helps to grow the channel. Helps with the algorithm. And then, of course, I need you to subscribe. And then I want you to become that electronic evangelist and share this information with as many people as you possibly can. Would you do that for me? I'd be eternally grateful for you. And again, I want to invite you to be a part of this weekend, Saturday, November 22nd. It's Mindset, Money, and AI. We're going to teach you how to master the AI shift. Happening Saturday, November 22nd, 9 a.m. You must register for it by going to michaelnorman.net. That's michaelnorman.net. And I'll look forward to seeing you this weekend. This is going to be powerful. I promise you, you're going to be glad you attended. Okay, so make sure that you register today, and I'll see you this weekend. Until the next time, stay blessed by the best. I'm praying for you that all things are possible to them that believe. Until next time, blessings.